it's no longer a news that VDM have started a new project. And on this new project is focused on creating an opportunity for those who have business idea to start up a business. So what is the project like? He actually goes out to the street. For instance, yesterday, goes out to the street and then pick persons and then interview those persons to see what are the possible business ideas they have, what is the challenge, why they have not started a business, and then he sees where he can actually come in for them. So that's the picture of what this new project is like. Now, on this particular live stream, we are going to be considering, um, we're actually going to be considering some things that are very important. For instance, what's the project all about? Then, is excitement the only thing? Because there's reason why you should not just be excited about it. And then the common mistakes that participants are vulnerable to make. And then the roles of your mindset, discipline, and so on, while in that opportunity. Opportunity, they say that it comes but once. So there are certain opportunities that it needs preparation to actually catch them up. I'm sorry, this air is disturbing me. Just a minute. Okay, I'm actually here. I'm having a little challenge with the breeze outside. The air outside is actually strong and it's trying to scatter off things here. Anyway, so let's continue. So I was saying there are opportunities that actually needs preparation. You don't just jump into it like that. And that's why for me I see life like something that everyone will need to be prepared, because opportunity can catch up with us at any point and at any time. So the next thing we'll be considering is misinterpretation versus reality, and then we'll also consider why people ignore sensitive details. What are the reasons that most people will ignore sensitive details? The lessons that we can also derive out of here, and then we'll see opportunity versus preparation versus preparedness. So first of all, as I said earlier, let's start with the first one, which is what VDM new project is all about. So this new project is a platform for persons that have business ideas. Just in case you are such kind of person, you have any business plan at all you want to implement, VDM is actually creating a platform for those persons. And then he will empower you. More or less, he will interview you first. What's the business like? What are the opportunities that the business presents with? And then what are the challenges, possible challenges you would have to face? And what are the financial requirements that you need for the business? And then at the end of the interview, he will first of all set the sum of 2.5 million naira. And depending on what you present before him, depending on the type of business, the opportunity, everything, will determine how much you'll be going home with. I don't know if you get. So that's the picture of what this new project is all about. And so far, episode 1 and 2 has been done. And for the two persons, there is none of them that have actually taken the complete 2.5 million naira. Not as if it's actually difficult. We are going to be looking at some of those reasons why persons will not win this 2.5 million naira, or why it will be more challenging to win it. Now, what is those things? It's actually carrying out this project in Nigeria. And the greater chances is that most persons that he is going to be sampling to use are persons that are less privileged, persons that are not that exposed. So most of these persons will be having issues with writing a business proposal, what a true business proposal should look like, right? Then most of these persons have not met sum of money up to that volume. And so it becomes challenging when you just expose someone to an amount as big as that, they may be carried away. They don't even know. In fact, emotions will step in. They don't even know what to actually say. Some person will start jittering. So these are common things that are supposed to be expected in opportunities like this. And then, as I was saying from the first one, most people are not prepared, especially because of the set of persons you'll be sampling. Opportunities like this, for you to win such kind of opportunities, you need to be someone that already prepared. And that's why I'm not surprised when you use terms like Nigerian youth are not really ready for the future. They're not really take over. They're not really ready to take over leadership positions, because you rarely meet people who are well exposed. You rarely meet people who are prepared. You rarely meet people who actually develop themselves. That self development. Most people don't have time for that. They don't have time to take the stress to develop themselves. It's just like myself. It got to a time where I need to tell myself the hard truth that, man, opportunity can pick you up at any point. There are certain things I just need to be prepared. I just need to prepare myself. So, such as that business, I had to go back. Okay, if I was to go to business, what kind of business? What would it cost me? What are the challenges I can face? What are the risks that business will face? What are those opportunities the business will stand to gain? Where do I want to locate the business? If I should pick a location, what are the challenges that are peculiar there? And then what kind of services are people in that setting really in need of? What do they need? Because let's say you are in a GRA, right? You are in a GRA where every compound they're fenced up, and then people don't have that real close social relationship. And then you are selling things like Zobo. Let's use that woman now selling Zobo yesterday, right? That was 20 yesterday was 28th of January 2026. So let's use that woman for instance. You are selling Zobo in such kind of environment. First, if you notice when VDM had to sample one of our products, he asked her what kind of water are you using and things like that. There will be issues for such kind of product to thrive then. In such kind of setting, you need a full-time setting, a standard setting that one, the environment is tidied up and things like that you get. So products like that may not sell well. So you have to consider the location you want to locate the business. What kind of persons are here? What are their age range? What kind of product will please that age range? Those are a set of things that you think before even venturing into a business. And then what are the kind of price that will appeal people of those settings? Let's say you are going to a rural setting, right? And you're opening a standard boutique. And in that boutique, your products, say let's use Chanel bag for instance, or Louis Vuitton, right? And then one of those bags is costing there about 2 million naira. Let's use that for the minimum. Let's say 2 million naira. Or let's say you just got that of 500,000 naira. And then you want to sell it in a setting where their standard of living or their minimum wage at that place is 15,000 naira. You will not make a good sale. I don't know if you get, you will not make a good sale in such kind of location. So you have to study the environment, really understand your marketplace. What is their financial capacity? What kind of goods, what kind of services would suit them, will appeal to them? And then, well, besides that, you as the person delivering the service, what kind of social skills do you need to be able to satisfy this set of persons? Those are some of the things that will give you an edge into going to the business. And then, what are the risks? There are some businesses that seasons have a role to play, distance, bad road, health have a role to play. So, what kind of risks do that business stand to face? And then if you are to get to the product, what do the products cost? What does it take you? There are some businesses you can do remotely. There are some you need to do in a physical setting. And there are some, depending on the location, you need to set a full-time physical structure that is befitting enough to promote the nature of that business. So these are questions you have to ask yourself. These are things I have to prepare myself and say, okay, if I need to go to business, where do I want to locate? How much? Okay, let's say I happen to lose some of those products. Do I have business in, do I have funds enough to be able to raise up the capital? Thank you so much, everyone, for connecting. Please, if you're just connecting, do well to like this live stream. I will really appreciate it. I will like the live stream. It will really encourage us to go on with discussions like this. I'm so glad to have every one of us here. So, as I was saying, these are some of the things I need to ask myself. Okay, what if I lose some of my products? Do I have enough to raise back the capital? And then, how soon would I be able to raise the capital that I put into the business? Those are some of the questions you should ask yourself if you are venturing into the business, into any business at all. And then, what are the profit margin like? You can't be ready to diversify. You can't be ready to grow in 6 months when the business prospect would take you 10 years, 20 years to grow. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. What is the business prospect? The business prospect simply means what are the opportunities it presents in terms of the benefit and everything, right? So, where the income, the benefit, that's the profit, is coming in a minimal rate, it's not a progressive business. And for someone who is meeting these kind of opportunities, your prospect, your business prospect must be something that is catchy enough, that is worth investing, right? You can't just, yeah, hair making is a good one. Let's use that woman I talked about, saloon and hair making, right? That woman, it's possible that woman would have gone home with that 2.5 million naira if she was able to explain herself using statistics, factors, as I've mentioned. Generator, there's no, except you are buying second hand. Even second hand, even second hand, that's I better pass my neighbor. The last time I checked, that very generator, that's very one, the second hand, or some people call it Belgian, is about that range of 400,000. But here we're talking about a better generator. A better generator. And I think what VDM even asked her was 500,000, which she even supposed to, generator should not even come in there. But let's say she was targeting the 2.5 million. A good generator, you should be talking about a good generator, at least a minimal size, you should be talking about 850,000 naira to 1.2 million naira. That's what you should be able to get a new one. And then you talk about the rent, the rentage. For someone who is really serious, supposed to survey, like, okay, let's say my area that I stay, because I intended to have gone into business this year, I had to make survey of how much would shops cost. And the ranges was there about 5,000 naira to 10,000 naira per month. So if I shoot project for a year, so I'm going with 10,000 naira, that's 120,000 naira. So it's easier for me to replicate everything very fast because I have made a further step to make my own findings. And then you talk about the product itself, right? Now, for our business, that's something that greater part is dependent on her skills, right? So she talking about the machine for weaving, machine for is it that's how do you call this one? The one that you use to after using the relaxer and everything, just to there's a name for it. I'm trying to get it. So all those machines are some of the things she should be talking about, getting those machines. And then for some persons, depending on what type, you might even include cosmetics, right? You might even include cosmetics and for some persons, you might need to sell those things such as wigs, wig, and so on. So these are some of the things that would have added flesh to the lady's proposal. But because you could likely see things like anxiety was already there, she was already anxious, and then you could see her drift from the business, and then she was talking about Was it the mom or the dad thereabout that passed on? So at that point, anxiety was already there. So she could not really present the fact. And in fact, he was even trying to bring her back in line to the discussion. But the anxiety was just too much for her. Yes, she wanted the money. But the question was, what would you do with the money? And VDM is someone that is business oriented. He wants to know what he could make out. So you are getting his money. You want to know other people coming later. Can you empower people through this? Not just yourself. Can you empower people through this your business? So like that, our own hair making is a skill that you can actually empower people at the end of the day. So if she was sensitive enough and if she was well prepared, that was a business sufficient enough to have taken that 2.5 million naira. It was not a business out of place, but it was her ability to defend the business itself. I don't know if you get. So that's some of the challenges that would make most persons not to pick up that money. One, I've said anxiety, that sudden exposure to such huge sum of money because of the sampling, the sample of persons that are used for this experiment. And then the next one has to do with unpreparedness of these persons. And then the next one have to do with people understanding the business itself they want to go into, the type of business they want to go into. How good are you? There are business that are temperamental in nature, in the sense that they go with your own kind of temperament. I can't be introverted and be doing things that have to do with social media and want to progress very well. You get? So I can do. I can be introverted, and then I'm talking about advertising business that are more of, or more or less in the advertising aspect. It's more or less someone that is extroverted in nature, right? So those are some of the things that you check. Talking about someone that should be selling, let's say, Okrika, for instance, that person should get some extent of confidence in his or herself to be able to convince people, to be able to convince customers, people to patronize him or her. So those are some of the things. How well do you know your business? And then some persons don't even there's this part again I could see, which is selfishness or greed. They make most persons, because he would not invest on persons that don't want to benefit other persons. He would rather want to invest on persons that, if he should give that money, they'll be able to raise up other persons, they'll be able to train other persons. So greed and selfishness may make most persons not to win. Another thing is this hate. A couple of persons just hate him. They just hate him. And so they may not even want to grasp that opportunity. They may not even want to grasp that opportunity. So these are common things that may hinder most persons. And then some persons, the aspect of mindset really have a role to play. Mindset have a role to play. What is your mindset towards business? What's your mindset? Is it a win-win or a lose kind of? So those are some of the things I feel may be a challenge to most persons. And then some persons don't even know when they intend to start. They don't even know. Now let's talk about people that, let's say someone will go there and say want to go into car business. Do you really know the environment of car dealing, how it looks like? So that those are some of the things I feel that someone who needs to win in this kind of project needs to be prepared. So our take-home lessons, as I've earlier said, you need to, at this point, for you to, you have to even present yourself in such environment to be able to participate. You must be able to present yourself in such environment to be able to participate. Thank you so much, Blessing. It's nice having you here. Please help me to thumbs up. Just help me click the thumbs up or like the live stream. That's what I mean. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I think we're already wrapping up. So by way of take home, we should know that opportunity can actually meet us at any point and at any time. We need to be prepared for it. Opportunity can catch up with us at any point. And in Nigeria, we're so relaxed that we're not just ready for opportunities. And this particular project VDM is setting up is something that most persons should benefit from, especially the less privileged, because of the type of persons is sampling. 2.5 million naira is not something that easily comes by, and it's something that can change someone's life if the person is visionary. 2.5 million naira is enough to start up a little business, a petty business that can be productive enough. So, sorry, I want to believe we have other persons with us. Please, we are just connecting. Help us to double tap your screen. Help us to like the live stream. So, those are some of the things I felt is necessary we learn from this particular discussion. Yes, thank you so much, Blessing, for that. Yeah, opportunity can actually meet us at any point in time. Opportunity can meet us. And so we must prepare ourselves so that when opportunity, like the lady for yesterday, we met her, but she was zero prepared. She was not prepared at all. So opportunity can actually catch up with us at any point. We should be prepared to defend ourselves. That's the ground foundation. And then this thing about greed, because there are people that will go there for that money. They just want the money and not even to bring something out of it. So greed is another challenge that we have to fight. And then the aspect of ignorance, self-development is very necessary. From time to time, try to train yourself in different skills. Is it how to address crowd? Is it how to speak in the public? I could see anxiety on that lady. I could really see anxiety on that lady yesterday. So you need to be able to train yourself to face social anxiety. It is one type of anxiety that made most persons to lose opportunities because they can't actually address the crowd. They can't address people. Once they are before the crowd, they start jittering. They can't even say anything. They lose control of themselves. So addressing the crowd is one thing. A couple of persons, for instance, myself, were once introverted, but we had to see how to develop ourselves. More or less, no matter the kind of social class we fall in, I should be able to come in. We should be able to have meaningful discussion, at least for a good number of duration. So self-development is very, very essential. It's very essential. That's one thing I picked up from that yesterday discussion. Self-development will save us from lots of anxiety, social anxiety to be specific. And then another thing I saw, she was extra emotions, be able to be self-aware, self-conscious, so that we'll be able to regulate our emotions. Some kind of exposures are necessary. Imagine someone who must have hold a sum of money like that. It wouldn't have made her to jitter like that, but because she have not encountered such kind of money. So it was something that was like a surprise to her, and already she lost control. So certain exposures are actually necessary. You just need to step out from time to time, go to certain places, just go see for yourself how things look like. Just by way of conclusion, for instance, myself, I used to have this phobia for water. I have to have this phobia for water. Just recently, I had to tell myself, "Ah, man, this water something. What if I go to a place that is waterlogged, that you just need to go through water? So will I miss the opportunity because of phobia for water?" I don't know if you get. So I just have to start training. And in fact, I say, oh, this year, let's start exploring that aspect and things like that. So some exposures are very necessary. They are very necessary because you don't know the kind of opportunity tomorrow you may that may come your way. And some persons say opportunity comes but once. Although in life, for me, I feel prepared persons meet lots of opportunities, but unprepared persons tend to meet lesser or limited opportunity. So I believe we had learned one or two things from this discussion. And for those persons who want to participate, your location really matters because I think it's starting up with Abuja at the moment, and I think even the head office, most of his things are around that Wuse, it's around that Wuse out there. I think Wuse zone 2 or zone 3 there about. So finding yourself around that location puts you in that opportunity, puts you in that space where you can actually come across that opportunity. And then prepare yourself. You don't just go to say anything because you just want to say something. Prepare yourself very well. What kind of business do you want to explore? And then find out very well the cost effectiveness of that business, the prospect of the business, and then what other person even stand to gain and so on. That will give you more chances, peradventure, to win the entire money. So I think this discussion has been so helpful to us. I didn't intend to stay so long. I just wanted us to have a good time and just discuss briefly on this topic. And I think we'll be meeting more frequent from now. Initially, I had a copyright on my channel, and that made posting become more challenging to me. I just lost the vibe, but I think we'll start up again. We'll start up again, and let's see how it takes us. So if you're just coming here and not subscribed, please do well to subscribe. And if you like this particular discussion, I look forward to that moment where this particular channel becomes your most favorite click. But for the moment, please stay safe and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you. Cheers.